Welcome back and welcome, first time listeners, to the Ratchet Ramblings podcast presented by the CSPN. I am one third of your host, Jeremy, aka Black Dante on Twitter, aka Niggamord, aka I'm so tired of you Negroes being broke and poor on the internet. Please go to a therapist. Please get you a cash app. Please, somebody make Hennessy from scratch for these niggas so they can leave us the fuck alone. And I'm joined by my good friend and my co-host.
Curtis the Menace, aka Trilificent on all social media. I don't really have any other AKAs. AKA, we still holding it down for our sister Candace. I know y'all probably missing her, but if you follow her on social media and you saw her post this past week, she's doing a lot of studying for some things in her professional life. So give us a little bit more time. I think probably after the vow renewal, she should be back. So stick with us until then. But in the meantime, we have another guest, another return guest. So returning to the Legion of Niggatry, we have Side Eye Special.
What up, everyone? I am Side Eye, aka Isdemit Salin, aka Simon the All Seeing Sultan of Chill, though I don't necessarily participate. Um, that's all the AKAs I'm doing. Fuck that.
So why mention it if you don't participate? What's going on, beloved?
Because I can oversee it. I know what
Mm.
chill is, and I know what chill is not. Just because regardless of whether or not I participate.
I don't have time for
Okay,
you.
all
I
right.
just threw that book in your lap. I don't have time for you. You didn't do your work, beloved.
Hey, Kurt, this motherfucker being trying to be the lifeguard of chill and shit.
Yeah. He the Zordon of chill. If you don't get the fuck out of here.
Rangers.
Nigga.
I'm sitting right by the pool of chill. I'm drinking a pina colada.
Anyway,
Minding my business.
we gonna get to the announcements because I don't have time for lies.
Mm.
Don't drown.
All right.
Mm. So, announcements real quick before we get to the good shit. As usual, you guys use the hashtag Ratchet Ramblings Pod when you listen and tweet or post on Instagram about the show. If you do it in your Instagram stories, use that hashtag so we can see it, or you can tag the pages. Our Instagram is at Ratchet Ramblings with the S on the end. Our Facebook page is facebook.com/Ratchet Ramblings with the S on the end. And our Twitter is Ratchet Rambling without the S on the end because Twitter only lets you use so many characters.
Twitter's got to get that the fuck together.
They have a lot more they need to get together before there. That's way down the list. So yeah, follow us
on the list of things they'd actually do.
Right.
Mm.
Other than support white supremacists. Anyway, follow us on all of those pages, like the Facebook page, share with your friends. Like Jeremy said earlier, welcome to all of the new people that are discovering the show. Shout out to everybody that's been here since day one or came in at some point over the past year and some change. And the last thing is we have merchandise, you guys. So
Merch.
if you go to teespring.com/stores/ratchet ramblings, you will be able to get yourself a shirt, a mug, a sticker, a tote, some leggings, all of that good stuff. We have some shirts with some sayings on there. So we have a shirt with theater on there. We have a good luck everybody shirt. We have shirts with just the logos, pretty much anything you can think of. And if there's something that you want that's not there and it's a good design, then feel free to let us know and we'll try to get it on there. If it's whack, then I'm gonna say no. I'm just gonna let y'all know right now.
Correct.
If you come like I want this obscure saying from episode 7 on a shirt, I'm gonna be like, nah, beloved. See, stop, please.
Step those antics up. We don't do dry wig fuckery around here.
We'll get to the dry wigs. So again, the link is teespring.com/stores/ratchet ramblings. Buy some merch.
You're doing amazing.
And support
Purchase some merch.
Yeah, there you go. Purchase some merch and support your favorite podcast. We appreciate it and we appreciate you. If you don't want to spend a little pocket change on something like that, then go to Apple Podcasts and leave us a review so we can read it on the show. And we probably will read it regardless of what the rating is. I just want to say, depending on how low the rating is how low we gonna hit below the belt. Well, when I say we, usually it's Candace.
Yeah, because Candace is good for now. First of all, bitch. So
Yeah.
you know what, and that's fine because our friend don't have time for the shit, and neither do we. But
actually, she do have time for the
well,
shit.
yeah.
She makes the time.
She will. I would say she will make the time.
Yeah. So we love you, sis. We can't wait till you get back. But again, bad bitch things happen. So continue doing what you're doing, and we will continue holding it down. Buy our merch, leave us some ratings and some reviews, hopefully some good ones. And most importantly, share the show with other people. If you know people that like mess and like to laugh, then send them a link, get in the iMessage and send it through there. Like, do whatever you got to do, but share the show with other people. And I think that's it. I'm ready to get started.
Yep, that's it. And we will have a link for all of that in the show description.
Of course. The link will be in the show notes. It'll be blasted on Twitter here and there. All of that good stuff. So we're gonna start with Chain Chomp Fix My Life.
Correct.
So one thing before we start that I just realized when I put it in my notes, I realized that the abbreviation is Iyanla Fix My Life. And I realized that it's Iyanla FML. And I said, you know what, that fits.
It does.
Because you definitely not fixing lives.
Unintentional shade.
When you a self-drag.
Right, unintentional self-drag.
A self-drag. So first and foremost, because we're gonna get through this real quick, because this episode featured singer Monifah and her daughter, but in all realness and honesty, it was a little dry for a season finale. Like, I definitely thought they were going to carry on a little bit more than they did, but what can you do? So even when the episode was starting, and you know how Iyanla does that voiceover, you could hear the judgment in her voice, like before the show had even started. But I think we've said this historically, she has a lot of smoke for mothers, for Black women in general. So I wasn't surprised to hear that kind of judgment in her voice.
If I may interject for a moment, partially, mostly because as someone who is, because I am a spiritual consultant, basically, what I didn't really fuck with Iyanla's approach from that perspective, just because it lacked discernment and refinement.
Well, I mean, that's a good observation, which honestly, I think you can say she lacks that in pretty much every situation, at least the ones that I've seen.
But yeah, you could see like she was very heavily biased, and it was really coloring her work, and it was affecting her energy. And that's me saying that from that perspective, as someone who does work with people and likes to actually help them fix their lives and not just make a show of it for TV and fuck shit up. But let me take that hat off and go right back to the nigga. And you were saying.
So a couple of things that stood out to me. Like I said, we'll get through this real quick. I didn't know that Monifah was raped at gunpoint at 17. Trigger warning. Sorry, I meant to say that before. The whole episode pretty much centered around Monifah and this whole thing of you had this baby, but you did not want her, and it showed through her childhood that you did not want her. The whole thing was like, it's not personal. It's not, I didn't want you, the actual child that I had. It was, I didn't want a baby, period. Which I will say, I think that that's fair. I think that there's a lot of instances where women have babies that they don't actually want. And a lot of times there's this idea that motherhood will just kick in. So just get through it. And once you have the baby, you'll become this super mom. And that's not always the case. So I thought that was kind of interesting. So Iyanla talks to Monifah a little bit, and then she crying, and it's like, okay. So then she brings the daughter in. The daughter's name is Akemi. And so I guess she does this thing where she's like, she gives them a prompt or something to write about in a journal, and that's their quote unquote homework. So because Monifa is carrying around a bunch of stuff, she had like 10 pages. So we get to the daughter, who is 26 with 3 kids and literally just had a baby like 2 or 3 months before this. So I kind of thought that was a little soon.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't speak too much on behalf of women and mothers, especially that soon after childbirth, because obviously I am neither. But speculatively speaking, I know I've seen this on the timeline and from my friends that have recently had children in the past few years, that your emotions and your hormones and everything, like it takes a long time for that to kind of sort out after you have a child. So I was just, I'm not saying that she couldn't do it and she couldn't handle it, because obviously we know mothers are that girl, but I just wonder if that was a factor in being, it was so soon after I had a child of my own, and now I'm like reliving childhood trauma. But I could be wrong. I don't know. So
I think maybe in a more ideal situation, it probably would have gone a bit better. But I feel like, considering how fucking raggedy this shit is, I think maybe that was cutting it a bit close. But
definitely,
we'll see.
definitely. So Kimmy only had like a page and a half of homework that she did in her journal, and for some reason, Iyanla took offense to that and like threw the book in her lap, like it ain't nothing in here, and threw it in her lap. Now, when I saw that, I said, "You lucky that this woman is here and she's kind of lost her voice. She is suffering from aerial disease. Ursula done stole her voice, because had that been me, that book would have replaced a few of them teeth. Like, I don't know who the fuck you think you are. I don't give a fuck if this is your show. If your name is on there, I don't give a fuck about none of that. What you're not gonna do is disrespect me by throwing shit at me, even if it is a light toss. Like, it's not always the action, it's the intention. Like, it was so dismissive.
That was like, bitch, we ain't playing football. You need to get that shit together.
Well, it's not only that, but think about it. Again, you as a quote life coach quote have identified that this girl is shrinking in herself. She's kind of lost her voice.
Exactly.
Her ability to stand up for herself. And your answer to that is to be dismissive of the shit that she's done and throw this book in her lap like it's nothing, like she's nothing.
Exactly. And that's where I'm like, the process is not refined and it lacks discernment, because it's like, what the fuck are you doing going at this woman when, like, emotionally she's not, I'm not one to jump to conclusions, but she doesn't seem like she's not willing to speak. She doesn't seem fully present emotionally. And I feel like the way Iranda, whatever, was going at her, when she didn't like what she was getting, I feel like she was being triggered throughout the experience.
Yeah. And she almost kind of went into attack mode. And you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of the gaggle of hoes on Married to Medicine, when they started attacking Quad because she wasn't opening up to them. And it's just like, I understand the idea of quote unquote tough love, but this,
fuck that. Quad is a better person than me, because I would have thrown a chair right across the fucking table
with them in it.
Yes.
So I mean, there were details about the girl's life, but that's not really important to the rest of what was going on. One thing that Iyanla said that did stick out to me, because I did see some truth in that, not only in this situation, but I think in a lot of people's situations that they don't really identify. She told her, she's like, you weren't raised, you just grew up.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of people probably cannot identify with that because they have not done that work, but I think that that's more common than we realize. Like, when you think about situations where people's parents weren't really present, they may have been present physically, but they weren't really, I mean, look, let's be honest. Peel back the bullshit, you can get on the timeline and tell who just grew up and they weren't really raised.
Yep.
Because
it shows. It always shows.
Shade bomb it.
Shade bomb. Fuck it. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to say it. You scamming ass bitches on the timeline. Y'all the main ones. Y'all grew up, but y'all were not raised. Because you're not going to tell me your granny raised you to be on scamming people out there hard-earned money, especially your own skin folk. Sorry ass motherfuckers. Anyway.
Put a pin in that, because that applies when we get to Married to Medicine.
But as usual, I feel like Iyanla was putting words in the girl's mouth. Like, she wasn't allowing her to find her voice. She was like, this is what I feel happened to you and how you should feel. So she was kind of leading her. You know what I mean? You know how like those court drama shows where they be like, you know, objection, leading the witness. I feel like that's what Iyanla does. She leads the people, but she's putting words in their mouth, and it's like you can't really tell. Like, do they really feel this way, or are they just repeating what Iyanla is saying because she's so forceful?
And it's like she tries to condense the approach, like, you know, because again, you know, for me with the work I do, if it was me working with Monifa's daughter. Just lost her name. Anyway, like my personal approach would be, this is something that we have to do across multiple sessions, because it's clear that she's not comfortable in her skin and she's not comfortable speaking for herself. So it's like you have to create the type of environment where she feels comfortable opening up and expressing these things without feeling like she has to be on the defensive, or without feeling like she has to withdraw. You know, it doesn't take, you know, you need better than a ham-fisted approach and a dry-ass wig.
Right. And a long-ass mouth. So then the next day, they get, which was damn near towards the end of the episode, they come back together, and
you know that mouth can't fit no compact car.
That mouth is a compact car. What is you saying?
I'm saying that mouth, she needs the Escalade. When she gets the Uber,
that mouth is the same. That mouth is the car that Dr. Eugene be hopping his little ass in.
Mini Cooper mouth.
I mean, not Dr. Eugene, Dr. Greg. Either way.
Yeah, I knew what you were talking about.
That little ass car.
Because we know Eugene big ass ain't fitting in no goddamn Mini Cooper. But anyway, we'll get there. So yeah, they come back together the next day, and that was when she tried to stand up for herself and was like, I felt disrespected when you threw the book at me. And the thing that stood out to me is Iyanla glossed right over it. She didn't even offer the girl an apology or an acknowledgement of being disrespected. She was just like, of all the things, that's what you concentrate on. That's a distraction. And I'm like, no, it's not a distraction. It's disrespect.
She's a master of gaslighting motherfuckers.
Right. And I'm like, the fact that you cannot, again, it just looks so funny in the light, because I'm like, you sitting here and you're telling this girl she needs to find her voice, she needs to be able to stand up as a woman, and then when she identifies something recent, we're not talking about shit that happened years and years and years ago that takes energy and work to uncover. We talking about shit that just happened yesterday, and you totally dismissive of it. So that was, I felt like, should have been a roundhouse kick for Rhonda.
Yeah.
So then they played this mommy-daughter Monopoly ass game, and Iyanla was playing with them women, and I will say the visualization, I think, was impactful, but again, it's just like, I don't know. I can't give her too much, because in one breath you glossing over what she feels was disrespecting, and in the next breath you doing something that's actually halfway positive. I don't know where to land with her. So then she sends Monifa away again, and she pulls out all these cards and is basically telling the daughter, get down there and make some sentences about how you feel. And I was like, okay, I can see it. But my question is, why is there a card in there that says bitch? I'm confused. I'm confused about that. I don't see how that's helpful in any scenario, no matter what's going on. Calling somebody a bitch. Maybe I'm wrong.
She could have done better.
Yeah.
Again, like I'm gonna put that straight on Iyanla. Like you just wanted to stir the sauce and you wanted some confrontation.
Right.
You wanted somebody to come across the table or something, and because you ain't gonna do nothing but bite them. And
I'll take it a step further. I just feel like she had already made her judgment about Monifa, and she wanted to call her a bitch without actually saying it
exactly.
herself. Because she was like, she zeroed in on that, like, you selfish bitch, say it. I was like, what is happening?
Malachi!
Why are you doing this to this girl? And she was clearly shook. Shook.
I would be too if a chain chomp yelling at me in my face.
Okay.
Those teeth gnashing. It's like a waterfall. Like, goddamn.
It reminded me of like when you played Super Mario 64 and that first level, and the first time you saw that damn chain chomp lean at you.
Yes, you're right. Because listen, when that 3D chain chomp had me shook, I'm not gonna lie, it did have me shook. Especially when that bitch follow you 360 degrees too.
Yep.
Oh shit! It just hit me. You know what Iyanla kind of looked like? You know that I was about to say Frogger, but you know that game Duck Hunt. When the dog when you fuck up and the dog comes up and starts snickering at you.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna tell you exactly what Iyanla looked like. Iyanla looks like Audrey too from Little Shop of Horrors.
Okay, all right. Let's move on. Let's
Monifa.
Let's move on. God damn you. Let's move
on. So I did feel like she had a point when she said that Akemi was too busy trying to be compassionate towards her mother to honor herself and live in her truth and tell her truth. And I think a lot of us do that because of that whole respect your elders, and the Bible says, it's specifically for Black people. I don't know about other races, but I feel like we have this thing where we're so downtrodden into believing that we have to respect our elders above all else, that we can't be real with them, and in turn they can't be real with themselves because they don't have anybody checking them about some of the things that they do. So I thought that was a salient point. And then she had them write Emancipation Proclamations, and I damn near turned the shit off because I was just like, I what? You couldn't just ask them to just write down their thoughts, like. Oh,
again, it's like she puts a lot of emphasis on approaching things negatively, and it's like, again, like, bitch, you could have done the fuck better on this shit. Like, what is you doing?
Yeah. So
she always trying to take a motherfucker to the astral plane, and I just don't understand it.
She always trying to draw strength from the ancestors. It's just like, what do you do? I don't know. I don't feel like that's honoring the ancestors, trying to use them as a weapon all the time against people. Like unearthing and working through trauma is hard enough without you trying to give me a guilt trip.
I mean, but let's be real for a minute. Are the ancestors really going to be watching OWN? Like,
I feel like the ancestors going to tune in if you calling them by name. Like, bitch, you got my picture up in a wall full of my brothers and sisters. What the fuck is you doing? I need to know.
I mean, true, but then when you see Iyanla out there acting a motherfucking fool, then it's kind of like, you got to remember, it's not what you called, it's what you answer to.
I feel like the ancestors would tune in, and they would be like, especially like our recent ancestors, like they grew up in like the early like 30s and 20s and 50s and shit. That they would be having PTSD because Iyanla looked like them damn dogs that were chasing them out of with the damn fire hydrants and shit. So I feel like the ancestors would be shook.
Hold on, we're not gonna put that on German Shepherds because they didn't do nothing, but they didn't do nothing to deserve all of that.
Well, I don't know, because Lexi said that most German Shepherds say
nigga.
They don't bark, they just say nigga. That's what Lexi said. Shout out to Lexi.
Yes.
Go back and listen to last week's episode.
Shout out to Lexi, a perpetually bad bitch. Let's go.
So to wrap this up and we can move on, I feel like there was some progress made, but I also feel like there was so much trauma unearthed on both sides that I just really pray that they go to therapy to help. Because
they need a therapist. And one thing that Iyanla should also do that she doesn't do is, stress that there is a difference between being a spiritualist and being a therapist.
Yeah.
And any good spiritual work that's, anything like this where you're unearthing heavy trauma, you really have to emphasize that you need to go see a therapist and you need to process all of this stuff, because it's gonna fuck with you mentally. It's gonna fuck with your mental energy. So you need to. It's not something that's like. It's really not optional. It's something that needs to be done in conjunction with this type of work.
Yeah. I mean, I know that they can't show all of that on the show, but I think that they could take a couple of seconds to or she should be saying that. I mean, who knows? Maybe she does and they just don't put it in there because it doesn't make for good TV. But I pray that she's telling them people like, we're gonna do this exercise, but please understand that this is not therapy and you need to follow this up with actual therapy. Yeah. And we say that all the time because I mean, Iyanla is a mess. But anyway, speaking of being a mess, Married to Medicine.
Speaking of unpacking trauma.
Episode 6, A Room Without a View, which I just not realized where that title came from. So, first things first.
Toya girl, go to hell.
Always.
Yeah, always. With gasoline panty draws. So Eugene and Toya were looking at the progress of their new home that they spending way too much money on for no goddamn reason. At least they stopped calling it a forever home and they start calling it a dream home, because that's what it is. It's not a forever home. It's not sustainable as a forever home.
Yeah, it fits to be called it a dream home because they're gonna love it until they wake the fuck up.
Or they're gonna love it until them kids move out and it's like, what you gonna do with 9,000 square feet and 2 people?
You know what? That's shady. Let me move on.
No, hell no. This is the place for shade, nigga. Say it.
I'm telling you.
Because are we even certain that those two are gonna be together long enough for them kids to be?
Well, I think that they'll be together. Will they have money? No, I don't think so.
For me, that Toya, that little narcissistic kickback. It's my birthday, but my nigga got a new job or whatever. That was like that was a huge red flag for me.
For you, but I don't think Eugene dislikes that kind of stuff.
I was gonna say, I mean, like, you're not wrong about Toya, but Eugene a little bitch. So
you know what? You're right.
So I think that's a narcissistic piece of color contact bitch. And a cook, that's a match made in heaven. Now, it ain't going to be a match made in heaven for their bank account, but,
No, because I feel like at some point trying to keep up with the Joneses, so to speak, they're going to have to end up selling that house. It's not going to be a forever. I just don't see it. Well, especially since we know that they are not good at managing money until the IRS is like, bitch, where's our coin?
Can it really be the Joneses, though? Because I'm pretty sure at least Mrs. Jones got like an online... home business or a hustler.
I said keeping up with the Joneses, not that they are the Joneses.
She need to start an Etsy or something, and or an online business or something, and catch that motherfucking bank account up with the Joneses, because she can spend all that goddamn money.
What is she gonna do? What is she gonna sell?
What she gonna sell? Flat tummy tea?
Right.
Listen, she can. I'm sure she can partner with somebody who sells those contacts at the swap meet or whatever, and get some coins going. Like, you got to learn how to bring some money in, sis. You're spending all this fucking money.
I mean, you know what? I'm not gonna say that because,
you know what? That's their reality.
Yeah, we're projecting, and there's nothing wrong with if y'all have a marriage where the man is going to work making the money and you're a stay-at-home mom. Like that's a viable job and lifestyle. However, you still a trash ass bitch whether you have a job or not. That's the issue. It don't have nothing to do with whether you go to work and make actual money to bring home. You a crazy ass retardo. That's anyway, so they were talking because we got way off topic.
Yeah,
they were talking. And they were in their dream home, and I don't even know why they started talking about everybody else, but
that's all they do.
Eugene knew good and well his wife was a dummy in a situation with Contessa, and he was just looking at her like, okay, let's talk about something else. because she's still being a dummy about Contessa. Like, I don't know if we gonna be cool, and it's like y'all could have been if you wasn't being a stupid ass, but you know, you determined and you dug your heels in, and here we are. And again, as usual, as I say, you lucky that Contessa didn't beat your ass, because I feel like there's plenty of women amongst my personal acquaintance that would have beat your ass if you had come at them like that.
Listen,
Correct.
I can think of 3 off the top of my head. One of them is a co-host of this show.
I'm just trying to think of a scenario where an actual friend who would try and play me out like a punk bitch, and I can't. It doesn't compute to me, because first of all, like, my friends are like, we actually respect each other and we have empathy for each other and we care for each other, and also my friends, they all know that I'm just crazy enough, so we're not gonna do that. But going back to the first part, it's like, you got to grow up, bitch. Like, what's wrong with you?
Everything. Now, you know what? Now that I think, that would be an Iyanla episode that might be good. Iyanla trying to peel back the layers of what the fuck is wrong with Toya, and throw Mariah in the mix too.
No,
you know what would be a real good one? Heavenly.
Oh no, they would fight.
No, that's why it would be good.
True.
Can you imagine Heavenly crazy ass fighting Iyanla crazy ass? That would be prime time television.
2 hands in the courtyard.
I couldn't possibly wait for Heavenly to be sitting up with her therapist talking about, so I called her a rusty tooth bitch and told her to get the fuck out of my house, and you would have done the same, right?
You know what? I feel like Heavenly and Iyanla, that would be like Peter and that chicken when they get to fighting on Family Guy. That would be them. But anyway, speaking of Heavenly, so they're still in Miami on her quote unquote spiritual journey. And let me tell y'all something. When Dr. Jackie made that joke about Simone needing Botox, I hollered. And then Heavenly stupid ass couldn't tell it was a joke.
Her ass took a person like, why when I say something, it's all good, but when it's hell, but when the Jackie say something, I feel like it's a double standard. It's like,
no, girl, it's not a double standard. They know how to joke, and you be serious. That's what the issue is,
right?
And Dr. Jackie was really carrying on in that scene, because when Toya called and Dr. Jackie took that phone and hung up on her face. She's like, no negativity. I was like, yes, call out the negativity.
Right. Drag her.
Toya looked like a little flea. Anyway. So speaking
she kind of looked like a bed bug.
You know what? She looked like the Karibo from Yu-Gi-Oh!
No, we're not gonna put that on Karibo. Nah. No.
Okay.
Declined. Try that now.
What is this, Karibo Hive?
Karibo is the homie. We're not gonna do Karibo like that.
Be. Damn, do Karibo rub your feet at night?
Karibo helped you out in the door, my nigga.
Like, golly, he got shit. He done pulled out his saber on your ass.
Look, you done pulled out a blue-eyed white dragon and shit.
Listen, he sounded like Quad when she was cussing Mariah out in that garage. I did not do nothing to you. Karibo never did nothing to you. Do that.
Hey, Side, I was like, you don't do that.
Karibo never did nothing to nobody.
Noted.
Right?
Like, my nigga, is his attack points even high enough for you to be capable? Yo. Oh, shit.
Listen, look, I thought Yuki was over my shoulder for a minute, nigga.
The Pharaoh version, not even the little boy version, the Pharaoh version. You know,
I'm telling you, listen, that nigga turned into a Tam, didn't he?
I was like, God damn, the Pharaoh jumped out for a minute.
Okay, nigga turned into Kaiba. Like, you old trash, don't you ever talk about Karibo. God damn.
Oh, shit.
Okay, nerd humor, y'all.
Yes.
So they're like I said, they in Miami, and then of course we see that Simone trash ass can't drive.
Listen,
you know, I'm just like, so you just don't do nothing. You don't fuck your man. You don't suck Cecil dick. You don't know how to drive. You don't know how to be a real bitch. Like, what do you know how to do?
Yeah,
I pray that you're a good doctor because that's all you got going for your ass.
I hope she's got all the board certifications and degrees and credentials, and I hope she got like 5 alphabets after her motherfucking name. Because what does she do?
Because common sense she does not have. You definitely skipped that course. But anyway, kind of, I'm just going the way that the show went. So, Quad had drinks with some kind of marriage council buddies, with whoever they were, and it seems to me, the independent of what Toya stupid ass say, because she, was projecting because she have a problem with Quad. It seems to me like the consensus is that Dr. Greg is not doing the work to save his marriage.
Right.
Like, he's trying to do stuff that you do when things are good. Like, that's not how you fix a problem in a marriage. Because Toya was like, he trying to set up vacations and this, that, and the other. And it's like, nigga, if you cheat on me, I don't want you to set up. Why would I want to go on vacation with you? That don't even make no fucking sense.
Right. You gotta be looking at the back of the same nigga head you've been thinking about punching or hitting with like a cast iron skillet or some shit. No, why would you do that? That's stupid.
Listen, and the odds of you getting on my nerves while we traveling grow exponentially, so you probably will get punched in the back of your head. Oh, peanut in that head ass.
I should be over some shit that ain't even his fault. The plane late.
Oh, right. They get to the room and ain't no bottle of water. She going upside his head. She punching him in the throat.
He'll break and she beating his ass with the shoe.
Listen, I can just see Quad now. Oh, Humpty Dumpty ass looking nigga. So she's trying to, and I don't like the way that they cut this, the way that they're editing it to make it seem like Greg is doing all this stuff and Quad is just not receptive, and then she's kind of like lying, saying that she's trying to do everything she can and she's not, because I caught that. And again, this is why another reason why Toya is trash, because they showed the footage of that whack ass crab boil, and Quad was saying, I've done everything I can to try to do what's necessary to save this marriage. She wasn't talking about this specific incident. She was talking about the length of her marriage.
Correct.
And so for you to try to repackage that by saying, well, she's not being receptive of his attempts to fix the marriage, and it's like, those are two completely different things. If I've been they've been together 10 years, married for 6. If I've been trying to do everything I can to keep this marriage afloat, and then you fuck around and you cheat, and I'm not really fucking with you at the moment, and you not doing anything to prove that you want this marriage, that you love me, that you're sorry, blah, 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 blah. Those are two different things. This is why, again, Toya just need to be beat the fuck up. Learn how to mind your fucking business.
Yeah, because I was tweeting about the show last week or sometime this week, and somebody on the timeline, because I said that that I extend empathy for Quad going through this shit, and somebody was like, they don't like how it just seemed like we hearing all of Quad side and none of Greg's side, and I'm just like, what the fuck side do we need to hear? Like, we know.
Well, can I be brutally honest for a moment here?
Yeah,
go ahead.
I don't give a flying fuck about Greg's side.
Well, you know what? That's valid, but I will say this, just to be fair, Greg has not offered a side, because everything that he's saying, again, he's just trying to throw whatever he can to patch it up. He's not doing the work.
And that's largely why I don't give a fuck about his side, because there is no side.
Correct.
He just wants to, buy some wilted flowers, say hi in the morning or whatever the fuck, send the text to, and he thinks that that's doing the work, and that's not doing no fucking work. Right. You cheated on this woman, you violated her trust, and you got a simple dick, and you moving around like you're owed something, and that's just not how the fuck this is gonna work. You need to get that shit together, Playboy. But that woman is gone.
Correct. All of it. She need to just be gone anyway, because
honestly.
But again, that's projection. So do what you need to do, Quad. I mean, I don't know. I don't really like them together, but who are me? Speaking of who are me, Mariah is trash.
Listen, let me say this, and then I'll pass it to y'all. I did enjoy that sit down that her husband, which I forget his name.
Who cares?
Well, fair.
That's his name. Who cares?
Well, fair. But I did enjoy that talk that he had with the daughter, because I don't think we see enough cishet men, because I don't know his nationality, it really don't damn matter, have kind of progressive conversations with their daughters about, you know, well, at least like hetero relations and dating and growing up and stuff. So that was refreshing to see. Now I do know that the bar is on the floor, so I'm taking it with a grain of salt. But that was a refreshing thing to see.
I mean, I don't disagree. I just feel like that time in a young girl's life is so much. I just don't know about doing it on camera.
I don't like it.
I don't disagree that we need to see it more. I just don't know if we need to see real people's lives in the midst of it.
We do, but in that context, I think that like when in that particular context, just like the feel that I got from it was like, their daughter didn't want to be bothered with that shit, and they were making it very awkward.
I feel like the vibe that I got is that they've already had these discussions and it's just for the cameras. So it's just like, why even bother? I feel like there's so much going on in tweens or teen, because I'm not exactly sure how old the little girl is. There's so much going on in their lives, and just for the focus to be on boys and this weird thing where you having all of her woman type growing up, you know, maturity things going on this show. I'm just like, what about nurturing her dreams and her wishes? Like, what is the girl into? What is she like? You know, what kind of young woman is she shaping up to be? It's like, I get it, these things are important, but every little girl, well, I won't say every, but on average, little girls, they go through these things. And what I feel like we don't see enough is the nurturing of young girls at this age. Okay, the birds and the bees are important. Your reproductive health is important. But what about the other stuff that we don't see that much about little girls? Just building her up to be a good person, to follow her dreams, to identify herself. I don't know. I just feel like they could do better. Like they're being kind of lazy with this.
It shouldn't be a big deal when when they talk about on these shows like what these young ladies want to do with their lives.
That should be a big deal.
I mean, it should be happening enough that it's not a big deal.
Okay, yeah, I agree.
Because it's like this shit. Like, okay, but like, who is she? Why are we putting this camera on her? What does she want from her? Like, what does she want for herself? Does she even want to be bothered with all of this? Like,
But I will say, just to double back, I do, but like I said, I do agree with what Jeremy said. Seeing it from the specific lens of a heterosexual man who I'm not sure of his nationality or his ethnicity, but from what he was saying, you can tell he grew up in a society that's very strict, talking about arranged marriages and everything. So to hear him be progressive, that was good to see. I just feel like they could be doing more. Like if like Side-Eye said, if you're gonna put the camera on this little girl, then show us something real and not just things that we kind of know are going to be happening because of, well, you know, some of us passed biology, you know, in high school, so we know what's going to happen, whether they show it on the show or not.
Exactly. Like,
I want to see them, you know, gas her up about her hair, you know what I'm saying, and her looks and her lips, and what is she doing? Is she into STEM? Like, those are the types of things that if I feel like if you're gonna have a reality show and you showing your children, those are the type of things that I personally would like to see. I could be projecting. I'm speaking for myself in this instance, but it is what it is. And so then Mariah fucks it up.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah. And then she fucks it up trying to talk about her husband's ex-girlfriend looking like Heavenly. But the part that made me laugh was when they were in the confessional and she was like grilling him like, did the bitch look like me or did she look like Heavenly? And he was like, in between. The bitch looked like Heavenly. I was like, girl, why are you so pressed and upset? Like, you have Dr. Aiden. I think his name is Aiden. It doesn't matter. I think his name is Aiden. Though.
I think that's his name. But she's got some. It's a weird thing with her. And
I feel like she has a lot of insecurity, and that shit is just jumping out.
Because first of all, why you even in the context of talking to your daughter about this? Which again, your husband did a good job. You fuck it up talking about his ex and then talking about Heavenly, like Heavenly all the way in fucking Miami, girl. What you doing?
Right, you fuck it up on some mean girl shit, and you could tell the daughter be over that shit. She be looking like, I don't care about you beefing with this lady. You too damn old for this shit, mama. So anyway, speaking of being old, Dr. Jackie, Dr. Simone, and Dr. Heavenly are in the car. They go into Heavenly's old childhood home. And they actually were having a good conversation about, actually, I don't remember exactly what they were talking about, but what I do remember is they were having a good conversation, Dr. Jackie and Dr. Heavenly. And then Simone and her overbite fall asleep and start snoring in the back seat. And Heavenly was like, bitch, this is not what the fuck we doing. Like, I'm trying to open up to you hoes and you gonna fall asleep and snore with your mouth open? Dusty bitch.
Well, you know, overbites need their rest, like.
Clearly. Clearly. Anyway, so they go to the house and, you know, Heavenly starts talking about different things. And she had like a little bitty room with no window and just all kinds of, you know, she wasn't able to really like go outside and play, didn't have like a lot of friends. And I will say it does sound like Heavenly had a fucked up childhood, and it did fuck her up.
Yeah.
I won't deny that, but I also won't deny that, girl, you still just a crazy bitch and you need to get some help.
And also,
I said put a pin in when we were talking about saying trying to fix my life. Heavenly, Shade Bomb, fuck it, this our show. You can tell like Heavenly is like a lot of people on social media, in particular that, you know, scamming crowd. Like you wouldn't, you know, those type of people, they weren't allowed to go out and socialize. Because Heavenly even said that, like she wasn't allowed to go out and socialize. And I think Jackie said in her confessionals, like that makes all the sense.
Yeah,
but she don't know how to talk to people. She don't know how to socialize. She don't know how to build no rapport with people. And her repressed issues from her childhood, she always lashing out at motherfuckers. Yeah. And I was like, you know what? That is Heavenly, and that is also people on Twitter, which scamming asses. But anyway,
and we saw that because so they met up with 3 of Heavenly's like high school friends. And I have to be honest, y'all, I was dead when they were talking about being student council president or whatever the fuck. And the white lady was like, I mean, but only one of us won. And Heavenly was like, cause you white. With a straight ass face. You know what? Heavenly is crazy. I keep saying that because it is true. But there are certain things about Heavenly that I kind of see in myself, because that would be some shit that I would do. Like you trying to flex, and I don't like that shit. I'm a burst your bubble. I'm sorry. I you know, I'm working on myself. Maybe I need to go and change chomp my life.
No, friend. No,
because
no, because then it would be chain chomp, get me out of jail.
Yeah,
that's
true. Yeah. Well, but not necessarily. I mean, she is somebody Meemaw, so it's not like, I mean, I'm not gonna box her. But knowing me, I'll probably bring somebody who would. Never mind. I can see it now.
I would say, listen, us in the group chat last night.
Listen, I can see it now. Got to get the goddamn bail money to get Nikki ass out of jail because she done punched the young. No, I'm not taking Candace. You know, I'm not taking either one. I don't trust them. I probably take Bree. But then Bree will cuss. Oh, never mind. The whole idea is bad. The whole idea is bad. Throw it away.
The whole idea away. Throw it away.
Throw it away. But the outing was interesting, but you could tell there was some. But I don't blame her. I don't like how that white lady was trying to flex.
Yeah.
Throughout the conversation, it was like you can have a heaping cup of shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
But I thought it was interesting when
it reminded me, like, I don't know, like I've been in instances of that where it's like my friend has some friends that I don't know, and they bring them around and they try to like I don't know, like flex the friendship or flex the memories, and it's like, well, bitch, like it's good that y'all have history and all, but I mean, you can like you said, you can have a heap of shut the fuck up. Like we all friendly around this motherfucker,
right? It's like, guess who don't care?
Right.
Exactly. Like you,
right.
put Putting a little too much sauce on there.
Right.
Please
Your friendship with our mutual friend ain't got shit to do with me.
Okay, because this is a one like she don't talk to y'all that often. We see the bitch all the time. So what's really tea?
Right. It's like y'all got history, but we see Heaven Lee all the time. So like, what is you saying?
Right, and that's why you look like an old honey bun in the face now. Anyway, I did think it was interesting when Heavenly was like, "Do y'all like the person that Dr. Heavenly is?" And everybody was like, "Yeah." You know, but Dr. Jackie and Dr. Overbite, being that they are with her more, they were like, she could be a little softer, like she could be better in her approach, but we like the person underneath. I said, well, that's fair.
Yeah,
I would hope you like her because your asses came to Miami with them. One of y'all sleeping in the same bed with the crazy bitch. So I would hope that y'all are fond of her. So to wrap things up real quick, Dr. Contessa had her surgery.
Friends up for Dr. Contessa.
Well, I mean, this has already happened. We know she okay. So
yeah. So that whole thing that should move fast. I was like,
yeah, I didn't like I said, and I said this when maybe it was last week. The access, like the difference in, because I've heard of this surgery and it not going that fast, the recovery not being able to go home definitely the same night, not having big scars. So it's very interesting to see the different levels of access of what you can get in healthcare, even when you're doing elective surgery. But we only saw a snippet of it because it was at the end of the episode, and you know, Dr. Scott was there with her. So we'll see. We'll get more of that on the next episode. And they were recording it and they did a little video, and Dr. Contessa was kind of explaining, I guess, for the kids to see when they get older, that she was doing this so that she could be there to see them grow up and not have to worry as much, because I don't think it's a zero sum when you get a mastectomy as far as getting away from breast cancer. But
the doctor said it wasn't 100%, but it was good for the odds.
It's a significant difference.
Yeah.
So we'll see more on the next episode. And that was pretty much it for Married to Medicine. So what did I say was next? Black Ink Crew?
Yes.
Yeah. So Black Ink Crew episode 5, Hot Dog Water and Abandoned Buildings. I want to start.
Caesar's a fucking idiot.
Wait, I want to start with this because they took another line from Teddy and they made it the show title again. And I have a problem with that because his lines are not that good. And I like, they act like Teddy is me.
Teddy don't have the range.
He don't. Funky bitch, old Care Bear looking at some bitch. But anyway,
he stick to sitting his fat ass on that couch trying to get some pussy and not be titling these goddamn episodes.
You know that couch stank. Anyway.
Woo. That couch smell like Cheez-Its and old shoes.
It sure enough.
It kind of smell like a gym bag.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. With expensive cologne sprayed on top.
What you talking expensive cologne? Brute, nigga. Brute.
I feel like when he goes to the shop to try to get pussy, he like borrows some of Caesar's cologne. Yeah. Because while C's is raggedy, he also like he's a flex for the gram type nigga, so you know he got expensive shit.
We need to. I have an issue with how they was zooming all up in on this nigga's face.
Oh, we'll get there. Okay, so
yeah.
First and foremost, just to reiterate, they was really beating the fuck out of Herb. I'm sorry. They beat his ass. Lord have mercy, they beat his ass all across the street and everything.
They beat the accent out that nigga. He was speaking real clear after that fight.
Oh God, they beat his ass. You know what it reminded me of? You know, them nature shows when they show like some ants attacking like a roach or something.
Oh, you know what it reminds me of? There's this video where this wasp goes into this beehive, and kills one of the bees. So all the worker bees surround him.
Oh yeah, them bees fucked him up.
They fucked that. They cooked that wasp up. That's what it was
quickly
like.
too. Wasn't it in like 20 seconds? They fucked his ass up.
Yep.
I was like, damn, nature, you scary. And damn, Herb, you got your ass beat. Ooh, he got his ass
was that energy
beat. Even Elliot, when they re-showed it, even Elliot was trying to get a piece.
Listen, everybody was trying to beat that nigga ass.
Everybody. Well, Walt was doing a lot of hollering, but he took his shirt off for no reason. And I'm like, but you didn't do nothing.
Yeah, and that's why I said last week, well, like Walt tried, but Cease was the one that actually squared up and knocked the fuck out of her.
Listen, all I can say, I didn't see Walt, and I heard him, but I didn't see him in any of the frames when they was beating Herb's ass.
That's because he needed a rest from all that goddamn shouting.
Well,
he punched my sister in the face.
Yeah, because you know what? When I'm watching it back,
I thought that was Cease, but
but it was actually a Walt, and that's why I said like Herb had said, well, Walt, you want to fight? Cease was the one that actually he didn't do no talking. He just squared up and knocked the fuck out there.
That's because Cease know that Walt would have got rocked and socked.
Correct.
I know what that was. Because whenever somebody be like, you want to square up and somebody friend step in, that's how you know that the other person don't know how to fight.
Mm-hmm.
Or at the very least, the friend is not confident in their abilities. But like Side-Eye was saying, they started doing this thing where they were centering Cease. He was doing all this heavy breathing, and I'm like, they acting like he the one that got punched in the face.
They was acting like this nigga was about to have an anxiety attack, and I didn't like that shit.
Right. I'm like, is he about to be passed out on the beach like Alex too? Like, what the fuck?
First of all, why are you zooming in on Cease like that? Like this show isn't aired in the goddamn evening, and people aren't eating their food while this show is on.
Listen, because Cease looked like he looked like a pot of pork and beans. I don't know.
You fucked my high up.
Well,
I don't appreciate that shit.
Like when you baking some chicken in the oven and shit, and that damn grease piled up in the corners and shit on your pan.
You know what he looked like when you cooking a hamburger in a fucked up pan, and it's kind of like no matter what, there's like that residue at the bottom.
he looked like the dripping.
He looked like with the residue too, like you scrape with your.
Yeah, when you gotta scrape that shit with the little plastic thing that come with it from the George Foreman grill. Anyway, yeah, they were Caesaring him, and I'm Caesaring him.
You are doing amazing, friend.
I don't know. My shit is all fucked up this week. They were centering him, and I thought that shit was weird. Okay, so, but as they were walking into the house, this is the evidence that I was saying last week. Donna definitely got work done.
That is actually the first note. Like when she was in there with Caesar, she turned around. I was like, oh my. I was like, look, from behind, I'll be like, Donna, goddamn. And then when she turned around and smiled, I'll be like, God damn.
Yeah, then she turned around, you see who it is, and it's like, I thought I smelled cottage cheese.
All right.
Like an amplifier.
So what else?
But yeah, she definitely got work done. Goes, woo,
good work. I thought, in my opinion, because compared to how she was shaped last season, she definitely got some good work done.
When they did that little kickback shit with Black Ink Chicago and Charmaine was at the table, you know, she got that information from her real quick.
They probably got a 2-for-1 special.
Yeah.
So yeah, everybody was riled up, and Sky was trying to run outside and fight with bottles in hand. The police showed up, and for some reason, somehow, some way, Kitty was the voice of reason. I swear this shit was a Twilight Zone.
They was putting way too much on this shit. Like they was like these niggas was really acting like they was gonna go in and kill this guy or some shit.
Yeah, see, how get my strap. And it's like, nigga, when you gonna shoot somebody while they film it? Are you stupid?
I think that's when the producers stepped in, like, nigga, you got too much. Even the producer was like, I will say this. Herb did, even after he got his ass beat, Herb did keep coming back and trying to fight. But
he did until somebody came out there with something. His ass ran away.
Mhm.
But I would say this: that producer, I listen. I know self-preservation when I see it.
You know what? This reminds me of a Kanigacy theory I got.
That producer was like, "You have too much to lose," aka, "Don't fuck this show up because this is my job. You stupid black bitch."
You remember back in Chicago when they got Junior the fuck out of there? I think because I don't think it was just a fight. I think it was also because shit was getting a little dicey. And remember, Rashid had gotten his ass beat the year before. Because remember, Ryan and Rachel jumped his ass, and then Scott was going crazy on him. And then he saw Junior turning up, and he's like, "Junior's a trained fighter. Oh no, I'm not gonna have this nigga beating my ass on this shit on this series." Because they got him out quick.
Yeah, well, that was also.
I mean, he
was also
like,
Reese being a piece of bitch, lying white woman.
Yeah,
but yeah,
that was Reese being a piece of bitch, but that was also Junior turning into a Super Saiyan.
Yeah,
he was fighting. Yeah. Listen, because if you start beating security's ass, absolutely, you have to go.
Yeah,
but the thing is, like, normally when you got like a real drunk friend and they're combative like that, you don't put a bunch of people around them. You isolate them. Like, and Ryan seemed to be cooling them out until they brought the cameras, and then they brought the production, and they brought the security, and then Junior turned up again and punched Ryan in the face and shit.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, but at the same time, I can see it from the other side, being like, this is a TV show, and I am a producer. Why would I not film this? This is good TV.
Yo, Ryan be getting punched in the face a lot.
He do.
That's
probably why he started working out. So, you know what? Real quick. Now I was listening to whichever episode that was, and Jeremy was saying, we know that this has been kind of a Ryan Henry Stan podcast just for this past season, but I'm gonna have to say this because I follow Ryan on IG, and I'm gonna have to say fuck him because some of the stuff that he's been posting lately and kind of like being in defense of Kanye and all the stupid shit that he's been doing.
Oh, nigga, no, you can't root for niggas for too long.
And there was something else that he said that we talked about in the group chat, and I can't remember what it is now. So he's recently done two things on his Instagram that got me side-eyeing the fuck out of him. So, like you said, you can't. But that's why I said we do it season by season. We don't just blindly stand because they will disappoint you in a matter of minutes.
Especially niggas.
As soon as the Instagram feed refresh, you be like, motherfucker. But anyway,
that's why I stay off of Instagram because I'm not trying to.
Let's get back on track.
But yeah, Ryan began punching the face a lot. That nigga had some. I know it was one of those episodes. He had some concealer on during the confessional because I'm like, this dude got a shiner.
Well, good luck, Ryan. Let's go back to New York though.
Yeah.
So
they was really putting a lot on that shit.
Yeah, I mean they were doing a lot. Like they were trying to hype it up, and it's like even we'll get there.
Because you know that wasn't the first time Sky got. Anyway.
Yeah, we'll get there. So we go back to New York, and Melody rolls up on her bike. And you see that there's this big. What's it?
I wonder, do they still got that RV?
Who knows?
That ain't even shade. I was just genuinely curious.
Who knows?
I feel like there were squatters in that RV.
Yeah, it was them.
like that RV did not have an owner.
Right, because it was them.
Correct.
Squatting in there. That's why none of the shit worked.
Right.
There was no maintenance. So there was a big sign for Puma shop. I don't remember the name of it.
Art to Ink.
There you go. And Melody was like, "What the fuck?" And I was like, "Y'all are wrong as fuck for hanging that sign out." And of course they threw a party. So of course they took advantage of Young Baby and a dumbass. Yeah. She called them there to help work, which made no sense to me. Again, I would have called Caesar and been like, if you wanted this shop open, then you should have scheduled employees to work. I am not doing this shit by myself. But she didn't because she's
I would have put my
stupid.
phone on D&D.
Right. She didn't
She was
because
stupid. She
she's
put it on.
stupid.
She solicited help on Instagram, and them two were the niggas that rolled up.
Right.
Which
Oh shit and Puma, and then they brought tattoo artists. But then they threw a party with strippers and all kinds of shit. Told the shop up, put that sign out there, and I just was like, "Wow, could you be dumber?"
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not gonna put too much on Babe because she did just have a kid, and these stupid ass niggas did just call her in when her child's not even like a month old or whatever. So she ain't getting no sleep at the crib.
I mean, no, she's still dumb. That was stupid. That was a dumb idea.
I mean, she's not that bright, but she's also sleep deprived.
I mean, I
mean,
was it dumb? Yes, but I
feel like whether she had a baby or not, she would have done that. So,
well, yeah, I wouldn't even bring it in the baby. I was just gonna say, was it the best idea? No, but the people over her are dumber because why the fuck would you even do that shit? So it's like, was Bae stupid for doing that? Yeah, but that's Caesar's fault, and especially this episode, he got all the karma that he deserves. So you know what?
Exactly. Yeah, because we'll get there. We'll get there. So we go back to New Orleans, and Sky and Teddy bitch ass and sees, they still hyping each other up, and Sky's like, oh my god, let the shit go already. Like, I did put my hands on him first. And I was a little surprised that she admitted that. Like, clearly we saw it was on camera, but it's different for somebody to be like, the shit was basically she didn't say it was her fault, but she did admit, I put my hands on him first.
And then it's also it's Sky, so
well, because Sky's a crazy bitch, but she likes to be the crazy bitch. So it's like when shit gets a little too.
Listen, and she definitely got out crazied.
Yeah.
Out hands.
Well, that's all the time.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Again, her only victories are Raw Ali, and that don't count.
I was gonna say there's only one Raw Ali. Everybody else is not Raw Ali. But somehow she ended up being the voice of reason again. And I was like, that just lets you know how stupid C's and Teddy are.
I have an issue with 2018 being the year of raggedy ass people being the voice of reason. Like, we got to get that shit together.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Raggedy is as raggedy does. I don't know.
Rags to raggedy.
It's Sky's being the voice of reason. Fucking before Love and Hip Hop went in the trash, Moniece was being the voice of reason. Van was being the voice of reason. What the fuck is going on with these messy ass people being the voice of reason in these stupid situations that shouldn't be happening to begin with?
Because everybody else is stupider.
Correct.
It's what's the saying? It's the lesser of two dummies.
Yes.
So
that should be a show title.
I wrote it down.
Damn it. So Kitty comes and we find out that she was doing an investigation to figure out who vandalized the shop. And we learned that somebody did recognize the people who were vandalizing the shop. Turns out it's a rival tattoo shop that Herb either used to work for or works for now.
I think he used to.
Essentially, what they're saying is Herb was a mole and gave them the information that they needed to be able to get in there and vandalize the place and steal all the alcohol. And I have to say that because alcohol is expensive. And so for you to clear an entire bar of alcohol, whew.
And it's these niggas, so it wasn't cheap alcohol.
Right. It wasn't cheap alcohol because they like to fuck off money, which I guess you can do when Big Fish is probably sponsoring 75% of the shit, if not more. But still, like, that's still, that's still a check somebody, like, that's a loss somebody has to eat. So
he was acting like he had to pay for that shit.
Right. And just to fast forward, so of course C's blames Alex because he was like, "Who the fuck interviewed him?" And Sky was like, "I think it was Alex that hired him." So put a pin in that. We'll get back to that. So
and I'm like, I blame C's for this one too, because you the
Of
fucking
course.
owner. You should.
Because-
Of course, everything is C's fault.
you're
It's
the
all-
owner. You're the owner, and you have two shop managers, Tati and
Yeah.
oh shit,
No.
so it's 3 shop managers.
Ted is supposed to be VP of operations, Sky shop manager, Tati is shop manager, Walt the assistant shop manager.
Right. So why did
But
nobody?
we'll get there. We'll get there. Put a pin in it. We'll get there.
Well, I'm just saying, like, why did nobody who has a manager title do the actual hiring?
Because they stupid.
Correct. So we go back to New York finally, because what's her name? Kitty was like, we were supposed to go back this day, but I moved the flight today so that everybody will have more time to calm down.
Listen, Kitty need to be. I think you said this last week. Kitty need to be the goddamn manager. She doing more work than I've seen anybody else goddamn do.
She doing all the work from what I can see. Nobody
she's
else
stupid,
is-
but she got some common sense.
right. Just hire somebody else to do the books because we know the bitch don't know how to do math. But she can manage, she can run stuff. Just get a bookkeeper.
That shit will never not make me laugh. Her dumb ass.
Because I knew it. I fucking knew it when they showed that shit. I said, "Watch this stupid bitch fuck the books up. Watch." And what the fuck happened?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to keep bringing it up. That shit just was so funny.
That shit, I was like, "Watch." I said, "Put money on it. I bet you she fucked them books up." And what happened?
She don't know nothing about nobody's QuickBooks or Excel spreadsheets or nothing.
They got QuickBooks for dummies. Like, Kitty, what are you doing?
I'm
They
just
need
like,
QuickBook for dummies.
like, anyway, don't even get my blood pressure up talking about that shit no more because that's stupid as hell. I'm like, how the fuck do you not pending transactions? Like, girl, that's like bookkeeping 101. What the fuck is you even doing? Anyway, so they go back to New York and Sky adopted a dog. She wanted her soft and cuddly. And I said, that's an interesting contrast to the hard and fast punch that you got while you was in New Orleans.
Might
And
knock
that-
some sense into her.
And that wig that Sky had on, that Crunkin' B wig, like, girl. Because if that shit wasn't from the Goodies video,
Hold on, was Sky checked out by a neurologist because she might be displaying some concussion symptoms or something?
Listen, she in the CTE protocol.
I just, I want to know who was responsible. Elliot, did you sign off on that? So stupid. So
Shit.
we go back to the shop, and so of course Melody knew what Young Bae did, and what's her name? Donna came in there looking the fuck terrible.
Yeah, her, Donna and Alice that came back early.
With that wig. And Sky came in and they told Sky, Young Bae told Sky. So then C's comes in and immediately he got smoked for Alex about the whole herb situation.
Right. Alice came back and was doing the tattoo.
That nigga Alex turned into a sassy black Pokemon. He was like, I don't give a fuck what you talking about.
That nigga turned into Jinx.
Yeah, he was like, I have family issues and that trumps any shop shit. Now I'm gonna be
Right.
in the back if you need me. Holla.
Right. I was already in the back working something that none of y'all motherfuckers do.
Listen, because y'all ain't did shit since we had that tattoo convention in the shop when it opened. That's the most work any of y'all have done, and that only applies to the actual tattoo artists and Kitty, because
Correct.
Kitty had to train them so that they could have the shop up and running. So Alex sashay back to the back.
Listen, let me tell you something. I was like, you know what, Alex, I champion you in this moment because listen, let me tell you something. Caesar, your goddamn car muffler lip faced ass. How the fuck?
looking like a used oil filter.
You know what he looked like? Caesar looked like if Grimace from McDonald's got weight loss surgery.
And then fell asleep in the tanner bed.
Fell asleep.
Okay,
anyway. So then Caesar he
flips the couch and then he sees the flyer.
But hold on. Did y'all see the way Walt scurried like a little roach when Caesar flipped the couch?
So he went to the door.
He scurried to that door. And he was the only one. I was like, what the fuck is wrong with this nigga?
Walt acts like he's been punched in the face by Caesar before.
Listen, that was definitely PTSD. The PTSD jumped out. And so then Caesar sees the flyer on the floor. He realizes young Bay has to confess that she had Puma and oh shit in the shop. So Caesar starts blowing the gasket again. So that was that. And then they cut to Teddy and Tati. They go out. Two worthless ass bitches.
That shit made me nauseous.
Listen, and there were a couple of things that I was not going to talk about this at all, but there were some things in that scene that I could not ignore, because his stupid ass was like, "Oh, I like Tati because she's not a drama queen," and I'm like, after all of that shit that she did in New Orleans, you saying she not a drama queen? And you sound like a typical stupid ass nigga. Oh, I like Latinas, they feisty and all this other shit. I'm just like, and I have to call a spade a spade. Tati is not even pretty.
The bitch looked like a knee.
She looked like a newt.
She looked like a pigeon.
Hey, she looked like Pidgeotto.
No, not even a good looking pigeon. She looked like a regular ass pigeon that shit on your hand when you're trying to punch in the gate code to get to your house.
She looked like if Pidgeotto lived in a meth lab.
Right. She looked like if Pidgeotto was on food stamps. Like
Wick voucher. Poke Wicks.
Pidgeotto, you sold the goddamn food stamps again.
Poke stamps.
Poke stamps.
Listen, I was like, you know what? I was like,
Teddy act like Tati looked like Erica Mena or something. I'm like, nigga, what? And she not bad on the eyes. Yes, she is. The fuck is you saying?
Well, when you desperate for again, Teddy.
Are you drinking Hennessy Black?
Like, we not gonna act like Tati don't look like one of them Guy Fawkes masks from what's that movie? Vigilante, V for Vigilante or whatever, V for something.
Yo, you know what Tati looked like?
She looked like Rorschach.
Tati looked like one of the Zoras from Legend of Zelda.
Yeah, she looked like Zelda.
All right. All right.
Link.
Goddamn. But I was just so disgusted. Teddy talking about you not a drama queen. It's like, well, it would take a drama queen to not have the self-awareness to realize a drama queen, because Teddy, you want to.
But you know what? It's double-sided, because then she goes on to say that all of the rumors about him being a player and all that shit are not true because he's sweet and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, this revisionist history again, because did you or did you not get your ass beat because the girl that he was fucking while he was pushing up on you got jealous and beat the dog shit out of you? But now all of a sudden he not a player because he blowing smoke up your ass. I'm like, y'all deserve each other because y'all two stupid ass motherfuckers.
Two pieces of bitch.
And you put them together. You put them together and you still don't get a whole bitch.
I was about to say 2 pieces of bitch. When you put them together, they still like 3/4.
Not even 3/4.
But like 3/8.
Yes. Yes.
That's Teddy Waist. That's Teddy Waist.
Well, It was all stupid. Then they played a game of pool so that he could get a kiss. And I was like, what is this, love and basketball? I'll play you for your heart. I was like, get the fuck out of here. Y'all are grown. Either y'all gonna do the shit or you not.
That pool game looked disgusting.
Everything looked disgusting. I'm sure that everything in there smelled nasty. Speaking of smelling nasty, so Donna ghosted when she was supposed to be there for Alex because something going on with Alex's father. I didn't pay attention. I didn't write down the exact medical condition.
Something, I think it's something with his heart or some shit like that.
Something pulmonary.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah.
He had real bad blockage, like what's it called?
Artery blockage.
Shit, I forgot the name of it. But anyway, he was like, I'm getting surgery in 2 days, and they crying. And Alex asked Donna to be there for the surgery. She, of course, did not show up. He tried to call her while he was there with his son. Of course, she did not answer. But it seems like Alex's father pulled through the surgery okay. The lasting effects, we don't know, obviously, because there's a possibility that, the surgery is not going to remedy whatever the issues are, as far as, damn, I cannot remember the word.
I think it was COPD.
No, I thought CPD, CPO. I thought that was like a lung thing. I don't know. I could be wrong.
I do remember it was something pulmonary.
Yeah, pulmonary that's heart. Like that's your circulatory system. And the block, I cannot remember. Anyway, let's see. So then we go back to the shop, and I don't know what C's was doing, being C's, I guess. Oh shit comes in the shop, and I guess he determined he gonna get him a VH1 check because he was in there taking art off the wall, and C's is like, "What is you even doing?" And then they had that little fake fight, and I'm gonna call it a fake fight because after I seen the way C's knows how to square up against Herb, you're not gonna tell me that was a real fight he was having with oh shit.
Nah,
nope,
absolutely not.
And then they were rolling all the bean footage back on oh shit because C's is like, you done hurt me for the last time. And I'm like, but y'all conveniently left the part out from last season when y'all were disrespecting him and his baby mama and his baby to his face, which was what prompted him to exit the shop in the first fucking place.
Revisionist history.
I'm like, y'all just conveniently left that part out, even if it's unbalanced and C's has done more for oh shit than not. Like, we're not gonna act like there weren't factors that led up to what he was doing. Even if Caesar wasn't directly responsible, like he wasn't the one actually doing the shit, the motherfuckers in the shop that you run were doing it. Like, that's like if somebody do something to me at work, yeah, they're responsible, but guess who else is responsible? Our collective manager, because that is how chains of command work. You have that responsibility for the group. That's why you're the manager. You have the title, and if you're lucky, you get the money. So that was that. They had that fake fight, and then oh shit was pouring his heart out, and C's was basically like, "Fuck you." And then, I guess it was a preview of the next episode. So Young Bae is trying to get over, help Caesar get over what she did, which I'm like, I would just leave the shit alone, because if he didn't fire you at the time, then to me it wasn't a big deal. Like, not that it wasn't a big deal, but you can tell it wasn't something that he gonna concentrate on. And so she's like, oh, I'm gonna have a little barbecue, I'm gonna do something nice for Caesar to help him get over it. And I'm just like, this has the opposite effect, because I don't know if y'all saw that meat that was on that grill.
She did not defrost those burgers before she put them on the grill.
That was not burger. I don't know.
It looked like whatever it was frozen, and it wasn't defrosted.
I don't know if that was rhinoceros meat.
Like with the rhinoceros shaving.
I don't know if that was elephant flanks. I don't know what that was. That was not beef. That was not beef, and it was not turkey. I don't know what that shit literally looked like. She got it out the middle of the road. and plucked it and put it on the grill. And when they were like, what is that? She was like, it does look a little gray, huh? I'm like, yes, girl, meat is not supposed to be gray. And the patties were all thin, and then she couldn't flip them. I'm like, you can't cook either, girl. Why is you barbecuing if you don't know how to cook? The way she was rolling them hot dogs around on, on that grill. Oh, I was like, so you just continuing to show us that you are not smart.
Bless her heart.
And then we see again from the preview, and we'll apparently this is going to be a storyline. They go back inside because she's still trying to convince Caesar. He's like, I'm not talking to you right now. Again, I'm like, if you would have just left it at that, like, take that as a win. Him not talking to you versus you fired. When everybody was like, he is going to fire you for doing this shit. And he was just like, I'm not talking to you right now. But because Young Bae is stupid.
Well, perhaps maybe his stupid ass realized that he had no business leaving a woman who just gave birth to run his fucking shop with no assistance.
Well, even if you're giving him too much.
Yeah, even if she hadn't just had birth, one person trying to run the shop by themselves is too much. How am I gonna run the shop if I'm in the back doing tattoos? Who gonna run the shop while I'm in the back?
Yeah, we know Caesar ain't got that much self-reflection, so
none. In fact,
I will say Caesar's stressing out over this New Orleans shop like it's his money.
Well,
that's just like the feeling I'm getting from him. Like he has some, like he had an investor, he has some cash coming in, and that shit didn't come in, and now he's.
I mean, but because I think what we have to understand, we know that Big Fish plays a big part in a lot of this stuff, but I don't think Big Fish does anything when the cameras are not rolling. And that shop was put together while the cameras were not rolling.
Yep.
So I feel like, yeah, it would have been his own endeavor, and then you bring the cameras in once the shit is already done, because we didn't see anything about him setting up meetings, and we didn't see the shit like on Chicago. When at least we saw the meeting when Ryan went to go get the lease again for.
That's why he's stressed, because he fucked it up.
Right,
because he supposed to.
Because I feel like
when they was building the shop.
Right, I feel like that party, he was mad and firing people because that was his actual money. That probably was before the Big Fish check started coming in for the season. Yeah. And he like, I done went down to the motherfucking Piggly Wiggly.
That nigga said, I'm in $500,000. Y'all fired.
Right. But yeah, so to end, Young Bae is like, oh, I'm trying to fix this wrong. And she has hired a new, seemingly unstable receptionist as an apology. And I'm confused because the girl popped out of the box and was like, what's up, bitches? And I'm like, this is not how you make a first impression on new employers and coworkers, but we're gonna see. And it looks like Jada is not done. She gonna be in her feelings because they done hired a new receptionist, even though she quit. So we're gonna see what happens next episode.
Correct.
And so I guess now we can end with Growing Up Hip Hop Atlanta. So I don't know if we said this on the show. I can't remember, but Jeremy and I were laughing because we realized we missed an entire season of Growing Up Hip Hop.
Yes, a whole last season.
Like the season aired from May to August, and we missed the entire thing. I don't know how that happened. I didn't see anybody talking about it on the timeline ever.
You know,
I think Atlanta is the only one that people talk about.
I was going to look it up, and I'm like, wait, I thought the shit just started. What are we talking about? Episode 11.
Well, no, I'm talking about the original Growing Up Hip Hop, because it's Growing Up Hip Hop, which is a whole different cast, and then it's Growing Up Hip Hop Atlanta. We missed the season of the original Growing Up Hip Hop with like Lil Romeo on the cast. We missed the entire season that ran this summer. But anyway, Growing Up Hip Hop Atlanta, we are not missing. So, but I don't know how they're doing this, because on the site, they're billing this as season 2, episode 11 instead of season 3, episode 1. So I don't know what that's about.
Good luck, everybody.
Right. So to get things started, Bow Wow has a new girlfriend
who is fine as fuck.
She is. She doesn't seem that bright, but Bow Wow.
I mean, she's. Bright. I was about to say. I mean, she's with him, so you know.
And apparently the girlfriend is halfway living in the quote unquote Moss mansion. And I'm like, but ain't that your mama's house? So I was a little
Yeah.
confused by that. And I will say this: whatever Bow Wow was going through mentally, emotionally, spiritually, it shows on his face.
Yep. And how
Because-
he and his how he deals with people.
Well, I mean, that doesn't really matter as far as physically, but I'm just saying the physical effects. You can see it in his face. Like his mama look younger than he do.
Yeah.
Like whatever he's going through, those demons and whatever, like that shit is wearing on him.
Mm-hmm.
But shout out to his mama because she said something in her confessional. She was, talking about the new girlfriend and wanting to make sure that that she's not like trying to be a gold digger, which at first or when I watched it, I was a little annoyed with that whole trope throughout the show. But then I realized it's like, as much as we clown Bow Wow, he is a rich celebrity.
Yeah.
So that is a real concern.
Yeah, and then also it's because also it's like his mama, his mama was one of the, because I think Candace said this before, like his mama was one of the few good momagers like throughout his career, so it would make sense.
Candace said it. His mom is the reason why he not broke.
Right.
Because she's like, what you're not gonna do is blow through all this money.
Correct. So yeah, it was at first it was kind of cringeworthy, but it was like, giving your mama it makes sense. But then like when she interacted with the girl, it seemed like, fair. Cook, mama, cook.
Yeah. I mean, she's trying to give her a fair chance while at the same time trying to size her up. So I'll give her that.
Yeah.
But she was saying in the confessional when she said that she doesn't want him depending on a woman for his happiness.
Yeah.
And I said, we need more of that. Like we say that about women all the time. Like, don't be looking for a man or for children or for marriage to be the pinnacle of your happiness. But I think we discount how many men, because they get overshadowed by all the fuck boys. But we discount how many men do the same thing. How many men are expecting a woman to come in and clean up their life and be the key to their happiness. And it's like,
codependency has no gender.
There you go. Say that. Come on, Iyanla. Gonna call him Yanla.
Big knees, Van Zandt.
There you go. Come on. So what else? Oh. And then the brat.
Yeah, I knew it. I
do not like the brat, and it makes me sad because, like, I remember in 90 or whatever year that was when the brat came on the scene with JD, Functified, all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like I grew up on that shit, and to see her be a complete and utter dumbass in the year of our Lord 2018, I'm just like,
the brat. It pains you to see the brat being the bozo,
right? The fool,
the jester,
the dummy.
Mm.
But I feel like every time the brat open her mouth, it is haterade. I just feel like she just a hater. She got a hater spirit.
Cause she's so stressed that she on probation. But it's like, that's you, beloved. You ain't have
no, because in that conversation she had with Deb Atney, she said she's not on probation anymore after 7 years.
I thought that was a preview.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, I think that was a preview. Like later on in the season.
I thought that was that comment because she sat down with Deb Atney during this episode. I thought
it might have been. It might have been.
Either way,
yeah.
This is pre-filmed, so we know she's not on probation anymore.
Right.
But I don't. But do you still owe that girl that money?
The hard hitting questions.
Relevant.
I just feel like every time she opens her mouth, it's full of hate, whether she has a salient point or not.
Her delivery is so shitty.
Yes. And so the brat is getting glammed up for something.
Her
it don't matter.
Radio station.
It don't matter. I'm not giving them no shine because the brat is a hater.
Yeah. Well, it also is,
And so then JD shows up looking like Rumpelstiltskin. Done went to the Versace store. But anyway.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, I'm doing something big. I'm doing this So Def reunion tour." And the brat was rolling. She was listing all the acts, and she was like, "Why is Bow Wow not on there?" And y'all let me know. I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna throw it to y'all. JD's reasoning for not having Bow Wow on the list made no sense to me.
It was the fuck stupid.
Okay, I was just making sure it wasn't me.
It was the fuck stupid because
it made no sense.
Because he was like, Bow Wow's music isn't really his music and his fans don't really fit the vibe. It's like, nigga, Bow Wow been doing music since he was like fucking 5. Like the nigga is like 31 now. Like his crew, like grown people that grew up with this nigga is around his age or maybe a little bit lower. They know Escape music too. They know Bone Crusher music too. They know the Brat music too. They know your music too. Like, come the fuck on. Just say you don't like how Bow Wow been acting since the last season or whatever, and you want to be petty and not have him on the tour because that justification made no fucking sense.
None. Because whether his age range of fans and him notwithstanding, his music was out at the same time as all the other acts.
Correct. Even the Brat, who again has a point like every blue moon, was like So Def is Bow Wow. Like when you think of So Def, you think of Bow Wow.
Exactly. When you say So Def, you think of Bow Wow and you think of JD.
Right.
And if you know a little bit more, or if you have a better memory, you might remember, Escape was on there too.
Right. Or Jagged Edge. Or shit, even the Brat.
Or the Brat.
Right.
Shit, I didn't even know Bone Crusher was So Def. So that would have been a surprise to me. And some of them other names that they were listing, I was like, I didn't know these niggas was So Def.
Right.
So but anybody with common sense is gonna be like, how are you gonna have a So Def reunion tour without Bow Wow? That does not make any fucking sense. But like you said, like I wish you would just stand up in your petty.
Well, gremlins are petty.
Well, you're right. Leprechauns are petty.
Correct. We about to go. He looked like that damn leprechaun from the Leprechaun in the Hood. That's what he looked like.
Yeah. He looked like he's always leaving his teeth in the goddamn car.
Simon.
So then Bow Wow's mama meets up with Bow Wow's girlfriend, which I don't remember her name. Akio, whatever. No, Akemi is Monifa's daughter's name. What's the girl name? Oh, it was something with whatever. It don't matter.
Yeah. She's fine. That's all we need to know.
Yeah, she's fine. I mean, she's marginally pretty in the face, but she does have a very nice body. So they met up and they were sitting down having, I don't think they were having anything. They were just talking. But I do have to say, my Bow Wow mama sounded a little foolish because she was asking her questions about their sex life, like, are y'all using protection? But then when the girl is like, we made a song and it's nasty, her mom was like, well, I don't want to hear that. And I'm like, well, girl.
Well, then what? Right? Like, what is?
Is it like, Uchiwali or is it one mic?
Right. Like, what is
literally? Of it? So that was that. JD and DJ Hurricane Daughters. They sound Kiyomi, I think is her name. I haven't.
Yeah, Kiyomi. That's her name. Yeah.
They sounded like some haters. Like that concern from his mama is one thing, but from them, they just sounded like some haters.
Well, like, oh, she an Instagram girl. Oh, we're twerking.
I was like, come on now. Like, I'm sure she's not doing nothing that y'all don't do. Well, the one girl, JD daughter, I'm sure she don't do that. But girl, you don't have the body for it, so let's call a spade a spade.
Hello. Let's walk in our truth.
And the other one, I just feel like if you didn't have a girlfriend, you probably would be doing the same shit. Like,
all right.
And that's no shade because I'm like, what's wrong with twerking on the gram? Like,
right. Like she a grown titty woman just like y'all grown titty women. Well,
right. I mean, granted, the DJ Hurricane daughter's a reduced titty woman, but still a grown titty woman.
Right. So it's like,
so yeah, they sounded the fuck stupid and haterish.
Yeah. They sounded like the Brat.
Yeah. So then we go to so we're in the car with Bow Wow and Kiyomi, and I don't know what Bow Wow was on. Like, she
Yo,
was telling him that she met up with his mama and that she invited the mama to the studio, and he just like blew a gasket.
that's what I was saying earlier. Like, whatever he's on, like, I know that people. It's one of those things where it's like it's something, and I think people we talk about this all the time on time. Like, just because you're going through something or there's something internally wrong with you, that don't give you the right to like lash out and treat people in any old kind of way just because you're going through. Like,
I mean, not only that, but I just maybe I'm naive, but I'm just thinking to myself, if I'm a music artist and I make a song, it's foolish for me to be like, I don't want my mama to hear this freaky song that I did, because it's like she's going to hear it some kind of way. So it's like
your momager forever, like
right. And so it's just like, why would you be so ashamed that you did this? You don't want to the point where you have an attitude with your girlfriend because you don't want your mama to hear the song that you doing, as if somehow, some way she just magically not gonna hear the shit.
Right.
And so he, having a bitch fit, the mama show, and so they in the studio. Now, I will say this. I did not disagree with any of Bow Wow's criticism of the girl while she was trying to lay down her verse, because she sounded the fuck bad. Like, it was no passion. There was no conviction between her.
I don't disagree, but his delivery was shitty as fuck. I'm sorry. I just didn't like that.
It could have been better, but I don't think it was as bad as she was making it.
I don't know. I just didn't like it. I didn't like it. Like, and maybe it would just carry over from how he was acting in the car. Like,
because I think he was worse in the car. I think that
I put it like this. I put it like this. Once his mama showed up and the way he was talking like that in front of his mama, just to me, I ain't like none of that shit. I didn't like none of his behavior from the car to the studio. And I thought, while he had a point, like it's like we get on the brat for talking to you any old kind of way, but then you turn around and do the same thing to your girlfriend and in front of your mama. I just didn't like that shit.
Yeah, I mean, we'll agree to disagree, because I mean, I didn't think he said anything that was just so bad. Again, his attitude, that left a lot to be desired. I won't take that away from him, but I think that there's a lot more factors that go into that than just, this is my girlfriend and I'm talking to her some kind of way in front of my mom, because I feel like he puts a lot of pressure on him. And I'm not making excuses for him. I'm just saying this is a situation where I can kind of see it from multiple angles, because I feel like he is putting a lot of pressure on himself for this to be like a comeback album. And so I can see somebody being like, you not putting your heart into it. You know why? Because it kind of reminds me of Four and DJ on what's his name? Not DJ on the track.
London on the track.
London, I'm sorry.
Nigga said DJ on the track.
I don't know where that came from. That's gonna be my stage name. What you DJ of? Nothing.
Iggy on the track.
I'm gonna be DJ of snacks.
DJ 57%.
There you go.
There you go. But yeah, it left a lot to be desired. And his mama was like, get your shit together.
Yeah.
Left. So I felt like, that gave him what he needed, because he was just like, okay. So anyway, we fast forward. He was allegedly in the studio all night working on his music. He go home and the girlfriend being dumb, and I'm just like, oh, here we go. And she's like, you didn't tell me you was working with another female artist. And I'm like, huh?
I feel like had she just dropped that and not brought that up, but been like, yo, I do feel a way about you being out all goddamn night and not talking to me, I feel like that would have been, because that basically was her issue. But the working with a female artist shit, I'm like, girl, you right without that shit. Well, you got a point without that shit. Like, what are you doing?
Because listen, she said that, and I was like, okay, Lyrica,
Hello, that's the first person. Or Nikki.
Right. I'm just like, I don't know. I don't understand heterosexual dynamics because you definitely look the fuck stupid saying that shit to an established artist. It might be one thing to say that to a brand new artist or a nigga you haven't been with that long, which I don't know how long they've been together, but an established artist, somebody who has been making music since he was like 11, you sound the fuck stupid. You didn't tell me you was working with a female artist. Girl, you what?
Yeah.
Why are you clocking somebody on who they working with when you don't work with them like that?
Right.
Yeah. But again, I feel like she was just, again, had she just been like, yo, like, you my man, I would like to know where my man been out all goddamn night without talking.
And I don't remember the specifics because I'm not 100% sure that he didn't tell her. I think she just had an issue regardless. I could be wrong on that though.
I don't think he did.
But I'm not 100% sure that whether he told her or not where he was. But I feel like she was going to have that issue regardless because she feel like, and I'm like, you cannot get with the musician who's trying to make a comeback and expect no 9 to 5 hours. Like if you want 9 to 5 hours, you need a 9 to 5 nigga.
Yeah, I feel like he didn't know because we see in the previews and shit like this nigga, you know, in. Well, we'll get there. We'll get there.
But yeah, she sounded stupid to me. I just feel like I don't know. There's a lot of rules when you're the new piece of the puzzle. So I was confused by that. So then he goes to some kind of get together with JD's daughter and DJ Hurricane's daughter. I don't remember their names. I don't really care. So they seemed okay in person. They seemed like they were like, okay, she seems okay. And the girl invites them to Miss Deb's. Is it a club, a lounge, whatever it is? She invites her to the opening. But then we also hear, because this is around the time when JD was inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame, that his daughter is like, I don't know if I'm gonna go. And she has a petty reason. Basically, she feels away because she feels like her dad didn't help her with her clothing line the way DJ Hurricane helped his daughter. Oh, ouch. And so I don't know. What do y'all think? Because she sounded stupid to me.
I was like, girl, talk to your damn daddy and squash this shit and go with him to this big moment that he deserved. Like, stop being stupid. That's how I felt.
And I'm like, because not going is not going to get you what you want from him. So it's just like, why are you? So all you're gonna do is make it worse by not going and not giving him that support.
All right. And knowing how your daddy is.
Right. But, she seemed like she determined to be stupid in that regard. So all I can say is good luck on that girl. Hopefully she don't not go, because that
will be the fuck stupid.
I just don't feel like that's going to work in your favor.
Right. Knowing how petty your daddy is.
I mean, but shit. The apple clearly didn't fall far from the tree because she just as petty.
Hello.
So yeah, they're there. And then DJ Hurricane daughter go to talk to him. And she finds out that Johnny Blaze is performing, and clearly Johnny Blaze has issues with multiple people. And before the shit could even start off good, Johnny Blaze walked in and she kind of spoke to the girl. And then like before they could even get into the conversation good, Johnny Blaze was fighting. She was over there blazing, and I was like, what the fuck? I had to rewind it because I thought I missed something. Like, why is she fighting? But like, she just started randomly fighting the girl.
Like I thought, like when it happened and I heard the glass break, I was like, shit, did somebody throw the glass at Kiyomi or Ayana? That's the girl name. I'm like, what happened? Then it turned out like Johnny Blaze fighting across the whole goddamn
Well, then we find out that it don't have nobody at it didn't have nothing to do with nobody at the table. She was fighting a whole different girl.
Right.
I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, she literally, you just walked in. You didn't even get to perform. Miss Deb couldn't even get dressed. She had to come out there looking homely as fuck at her own grand opening because you out there showing out.
And Miss Deb just looking so, she was like,
she was looking so disappointed.
So disappointed. So, because
understandably so.
Because the brat had just tried to clock Miss Deb a little bit in the early episode. Like, how many chances you gonna give this girl? Like, you got a good heart, but you a dummy. And I'm like, and you know what, Brad?
I feel like we said the same thing last season when when Miss Deb had to go yank her back off the pole.
Yeah.
And we were like, I mean, on the one hand, I get it. Like, that's what you know, and you're trying to get some money. But at the same time, like, girl, what is you doing?
Yeah. Yeah.
I couldn't tell who she was fighting. Like, I watched it twice, but they never really showed who she was fighting.
They showed her going after the people, but they didn't show. They was already out. I think security had already escorted them out. The one time because I think they had moved Johnny to the back, and then Johnny ran back out and like threw some at the girls, but they was already outside.
Yeah, she was all in the street. I want to fight. I want to motherfucking fight.
She was like, "You want to see Johnny Blaze? I'm gonna show you Johnny Blaze." I was like,
okay. Oh. She sounded like she was on Cream Radio. I was expecting some bombs to go off.
All right. All right.
And all I could think was just poor Deb Atney. Like, she really has been trying to do everything to help this girl, and she just keep on being a dummy. And that was it. You know, we saw kind of the previews and shit for the season. Lil Mama is not going to show up to the next episode, so I'm looking forward to that. I want to see what the fuck Lil Mama got going on.
Because it seemed like from the preview, she going to be scrappy than a motherfucker.
Yeah, she seemed like she got a mouth on her.
Mm-hmm.
But I also felt like from the previews, like, if I'm new and y'all just meeting me and you coming at me sideways asking me questions about shit that ain't your business, I might be the same way. Yeah. Like, just because you meeting me in person, why the fuck you gonna ask me about some shit that happened in 2009?
Right, that I already got publicly dragged for.
I done got publicly dragged for. I'm still a running joke for. There's still memes.
Right, we live in the age of memes.
Right. And I mean, it's not that bad now. Like, I don't think it was ever like bad. Like, people, well, I take that back. I'm not gonna say that. But nobody is like, Lil Mama is trash for doing that now.
It was like a girl, what you doing moment, not a girl you trash and fuck you.
Yeah, it's a joke. Yeah. Because it's a lot as shit. I fuck with Lil Mama because I felt like she did an amazing job in that TLC movie.
She did.
Now the rest of them, ooh.
Lil Mama was the highlight of that shit. Cause
Lil Mama was the low light, the highlight, the bright light,
all of the lights.
Shit,
the check engine light.
She was all right. The prism. Shit, she was the moonlight, the daylight.
She was all the Sailor Moon Scouts.
Because the rest of that shit, ooh, what's the girl name? Demetria Kinney, ooh. And what's Kiki Palmer as Chili? Ooh.
Ooh. Talk about a gag. Ooh. And I don't mean in a good way. Ooh.
Ooh, talk about a drag. But anyway, yeah. So I feel like, give Lil Mama a little bit of flowers. Like, somehow she's stuck around all this time without like a real big career hit as far as music, but she's still here.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens next episode because it just felt like they was kind of fucking with her in a way she didn't appreciate, and she let them know.
Right. Also go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say we finally get to see Lil Bow Wow and Lil Mama in the same.
All right.
They was hugging and everything. I was like, oh, look, it's two different people.
and speaking of Bow Wow, what I was kind of saying earlier, Curtis, it seemed like just from them previews, it seemed like he gonna start wilding again, which
I fully expect that.
Yeah.
If he wilding out when cameras are not rolling, like these particular people, you already know.
It seemed like he gonna, and that's what I was saying. Like Kiyomi, was a foolish, like I said, but it also seemed like Bow Wow.
Oh, but it seemed like
Bow Wow giving her a reason to kind of be foolish. A little bit.
Yeah, and it looks like Masika's end to this dynamic is that she and Bow Wow have known each other and probably have fucked.
Mm-hmm.
And they're getting a little bit too cozy. So
Yeah, because you know Masika love Miss. She don't love herself, but she love Miss.
She don't love discernment. Or them goddamn feet.
and them wigs, child.
Whew, well,
But that wraps up Growing Up Hip Hop Atlanta, and that pretty much wraps up the show for this week. So we gave y'all another little bonus.
How your feet look like they fell off the back of a truck?
all right.
Well, when the bitch fall off the back of the truck, what you expect? She looked like, never mind, I'm not gonna say that. She's a very handsome woman.
Okay, all right. Well, Simon, thank you for joining this nigga trick. This nigga, man. What the fuck is wrong with you, Curtis?
Shade. Gonna start calling Masika Marsha Warfield.
Okay, all right. That is enough. That is enough. The hell. Anyway, Simon, thank you so much for joining us.
Always a pleasure, man.
Curtis, end announcements. What the hell is wrong with you?
No ending announcements. Again, remember to follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter, like the Facebook page, and buy some merch. Again, the link is teespring.com/store/ratchet ramblings. Get you a shirt, get you a hoodie, and if you get one, take a picture and post it so we can see it. Get you a mug, get you, even if you just get you a sticker, get you some Ratchet Ramblings merch and let us see it. And that's pretty much it. And leave us some reviews, of course.
Yep.
That's pretty much it. So
no 1-star woes for these folks because Candace will come back and drag you through the netherworld. Thank you so much.
I was gonna say, I mean, you can do whatever you want. You just have to realize that them 1 stars might have some consequences. So
correct.
Good luck. And this week's benediction: never go full Teddy.
Never go full Teddy.
Or full C's.
Don't do Caesary.
Yeah.
All right. We out, y'all.
Peace.
Peace.